welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. I am a gouache and acrylic artist. I paint mostly fantasy, but I also like painting wildlife, and I also would love to get into children's book illustration at some point in my life. But anyway, it's a new year and I've been kind of going through my studio, and I actually just recently went through all my stuff and kind of reorganized, and during the reorganization process, I got very distracted, as I do, by some of my old sketchbooks, and some of these go back to like 2012, then up to kind of my most recent sketchbook. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to go over some of my drawing into painting development. It's fun for me. I like to go back through and see what I've gotten better at, but also kind of see like, okay, there's something here that I was doing that I feel like I've lost, that I would like to bring back into my current technique. And truthfully, a lot of that is just drawing. I never draw anymore. I'm always painting, which is great, but I want to get more into drawing again. So anyway, we're gonna go through this stack of sketchbooks together, and we're gonna go down memory lane. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to go through this. So grab a snack, grab a warm drink, whatever it is you do, and yeah, let's go through some sketchbooks. Okay, so this sketchbook is the earliest one that I have. A lot of Zelda stuff. So this is 2012. This is one of my first like better attempts at Link. I was just getting into colored pencils, and I was like a little bit scared to actually like work with color. I think I actually ended up turning this into a digital piece. That's for another day. We could go through all my digital stuff. One of my first Midnas. I know that I made her digital as well. But yeah, again, same with that, like I'm not really coloring everything in. I don't know why I didn't do anything to the helmet, but I just didn't. We're going right into more Zelda. I was into these like little weird, I don't know, I was trying to make it sketchbooky. I don't even want to, we don't need to read any of this. Oh my gosh, this is my brother's. This is actually really good. Oh my gosh, we should use this actually. This is me and my best friend in like a chibi form. I was very into the Japanese like chibi stuff. Oh my gosh, I should send her that. I'm gonna take a picture. I remember being so proud of this Link drawing. I loved it so much. It's the colors though. It's like, okay, I should have just been more brave, but I was so scared of ruining the sketch. But this is actually probably to this day one of my favorite Link drawings that I've done. Okay, so now we're in my Sharpie era. But this is when I was doing the main darkest shadows with like a fine tip Sharpie. And I actually think this is cool. It was cool for a little bit at least. A lot of Pokemon, and this is when I really started getting into anime. So you're about to see, oh yeah, a lot of anime. This is Yato from Noragami. Oh, Charmander, his eyes are way too big. Soul Evans, I loved Soul Eater, oh my gosh. And the color pencil technique it's getting better as we go. Totodile. All right, this is still one of my favorites to this day, is Ryuk from Death Note. Death Note is, to this day, probably my favorite anime. I love Death Note. I forced my husband to watch it with me. I actually think he enjoyed it, but he's not really into anime. But I was like, it's a good introduction to anime. Terriermon. He's like my favorite Digimon, I think. I love Terriermon. Also, I just want to know, the grays that I'm blending with, normally I would have just, like, I've saw it in previous drawings, but I was using like an actual like gray. And here I'm using like a bluish gray. So even though I don't know what color theory is yet at this point, I'm definitely like I'm getting the idea. Okay, we gotta move on. We gotta go a little quicker because this is gonna be a super long video otherwise. 2014, Attack on Titan. Oddish. Actually, I want to remember this one because I recently did another Oddish, but this is actually good. Again, with the color, like I'm realizing this is like a watercolor painting, and I didn't know anything about watercolor. I just want to talk about the coloring. The drawing isn't that great, but I really took my time coloring. And yes, like I'm using straight up green, I'm using straight up yellow, but you can see little strands of brown, and I'm learning color. I was observing color and I was learning it, and I was wanting to figure it out. So I like that guy. I like that link. That's a good one. Fine. Oh, but this is one of my favorites too. Actually, yeah, to this day, this is one of my favorite links that I've done. I did really like this Vaporeon. Okay, so from here, we're actually skipping several years. In 2016, I moved out of my parents' house. There was a lot going on at the end of 2015, but I moved out, I started working full-time, and then kind of stopped painting for a little bit. So this is a jump. I was still drawing a little bit and kind of painting, because every now and then, even through these times, I was painting. And a coworker got me this little sketch pad and said, "Hey, why don't you do some painting?" So this is where it gets interesting to me. The last part was just kind of fun, but I'm pretty sure this is the end of 2019. A lot of these are just me messing around, but gosh, I mean, it's just crazy how much I've learned since then. And so I started following some tutorials just to kind of learn technique and stuff. I was going really thick with the color, like I wasn't really understanding how watered down it needed to be, which now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, that's because I needed to paint with gouache. That's what I really wanted. And a lot of these were YouTube tutorials, or just me practicing some of the things that I learned, but it's like, this was my attempt at a landscape. I just think that's crazy. So, kind of the same stuff. I thought these were good. This is now October of 2020. And by this point, I was really getting back into painting. And you can tell, I feel like you can tell that I'm understanding things a little bit better. And then that last landscape to this landscape, like, yeah, that's cool. My first Ghibli scene. I started painting Ghibli scenes, and this is kind of where I was like, okay, I need to follow references for a little bit, and just kind of learn. But I can see things in here that I really took with me from here on out. And you can see, again, like with the clouds, I just can see these little details that I was not figuring out before, and then I did. You can tell when things click. So from here, I picked up my first set of gouache, and I was like, what in the world? Not understand it at all. Second gouache attempt, I was understanding it a lot better here, for sure. Okay, 2021, this was the first sketchbook that I really used to play with. I'm pretty sure that's gouache. I feel like from here, and I was in such a better mental place too, this is when I really felt like I was becoming an artist. Here, it really did take off. A lot of these are Ghibli scenes, but like, all right, I want to compare something for these are the same scenes. This was only not even 2 years, or like, yeah, right at 2 years before. It just shows how much of a difference can be made with practicing. I think it's important when you're first starting to follow a reference, because I feel like you can really learn from things. More Ghibli scenes. At this point, I was painting more on like paper and stuff, and so I had a sketchbook for fun. But this is my first like gouache sketchbook. This one, I still sell this print, like when I do in-person markets. This one too, I actually have a bookmark of that. Ooh, this is coming full circle. Aragorn and Arwen, just did a painting of them. Let's compare. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually think I ended there. I don't think I finished the sketchbook. Oh, dumn, this is what I'm gonna set to the side. We're getting close to the end, because I don't really use sketchbooks much anymore. This painting is on my website. I still sell prints of it, but I'm probably gonna phase it out. But this was like, so I know this was January, I didn't say it, but it was January of 2023. This was the year that I started my art business. A lot of these pieces are pieces that I sell or have been on my website or I bring to art markets, and I'm still drawing links in here at least twice. Some of my first bookmarks, these used to be on my Etsy. This is on my website. Yeah, I told you the link would return. I think this was my first painting of 2024 actually. And then I'll show you my current sketchbook. I wanted like a nice, like solid sketchbook. And it's big, but it's almost too big. Like this, I need something in between these sizes. So again, a lot of experimenting. I really try to treat my sketchbooks now as like a place to just practice things. I'm trying not to do so many full paintings in here anymore. I'm trying to do full paintings in like on paper or on canvas. This is one of my favorite pages. I love it. It's very, and again, stupid, I didn't even date this. I told myself I was like past that. These were bookmark ideas. There's Oddish. Remember I said Oddish was coming back. So, you know what? They're kind of both great. I kind of love them both. This is a watercolor Oddish, and I like it. This is my gouache Oddish. My gouache Oddish. My dad and I went to the farmer's market and I took a lot of photos of different plants that they had. Yeah, this was really fun. I just looked through the photos that I took. I love this painting. And this is the most recent. I started a Frodo. It does not look like Frodo. I started this and I'm probably gonna do more with this because I like her. So anyway, yeah, we went through everything. Wow, that took a lot longer than I thought it would. Thanks so much for going down memory lane with me. That was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.